HSG, hysterosalpingography. The doctor asked me to lay down with, my legs up, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. So he brings out his tools. At this point, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what? Hey sis, welcome back to my chat on fibroids. Thank you so much for staying with me. Thank you so much to everybody that has subscribed. Thank you so much for taking the conversation forward, and I just hope that we can continue to do so. Today, I thought we would talk about HSG. Now, an HSG, this is something I need to think about before I actually even pronounce it, because it is actually a 21 letter word. So it is a hysterosalpingography. I know. Yeah, and I guess that's why, they just stick to HSG. Yeah, so an HSG is an X-ray that is done that shows the internal shape of the uterus, and is done to check if your fallopian tubes are open or not. So now this involves the doctor inserting a speculum into the vagina and then inserting some sort of rod. I'm not really sure what it's called really, that will then go through inside the vagina, through the cervix, and then will release dye into your uterus cavity, which will then go into the fallopian tubes and spill on the other side, which would be your pelvic cavity, and it would just get absorbed by the body there. So if the dye goes all the way through, and it shows white on the X-ray. So if the dye goes all the way through and spills on the other side, then your tubes are fine. They're open and they're fine and everything. However, if it doesn't, then there's blockage somewhere, which is caused by so many different things. But mostly, I think it's infection, they said. So anyway, my doctor had, perhaps I should actually mention before I go straight into my story, I think I should mention that if you are sensitive about, the gender of your doctor, especially because this person is looking directly into your lady parts, I would advise that you ask for a female doctor or female medical personnel to conduct that procedure, because it actually really is invasive. It is, like I said, someone looking directly there, inserting this, inserting that. So just to make yourself more comfortable and to make you feel a little bit better, if you really care about it, I would suggest that you ask for a female person to do that for you. So my doctor had suggested that I get that done, so that just in case there was something that needed correcting or fixing, he would do it at the same time while he was doing my myomectomy. So it was scheduled for the Friday before, not the one before, it was like a week before the myomectomy I was supposed to have. So we went in, it was for about 12 p.m. and we went in, Augustine and I, about maybe 11:30, and we were seated outside the lab about 11:45, and we're waiting there. So they call me in. Sadly for me, they didn't have any females operating there at the time, so I had to have two gentlemen do it for me. But they were wonderful. They were very professional, thank God. And it started off awkward, but I mean, it's something that I had to do, so I just did. But they didn't make me feel uncomfortable in any way, and they tried to make me as comfortable as possible. So they call me in and they give me one of those little, like a hospital robe, the ones that are open at the back. So I changed into that and I sat on the little tiny bed that they have. The doctor asked me to lay down with, my legs up, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, can you tell me reliving that moment right now? Yeah, so lay down, legs up as wide as I could, sitting there waiting, so he brings out his tools. At this point, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what? Because I mean, the speculum is this metal sort of, I don't even know how to describe it really, but it's like this thick, and it's meant to, be put inside your vagina and open it up so that he could have a clear picture of the cervix and insert the rod. Yeah, so I'm laying there and he inserts the speculum, and it wasn't pleasant. It really wasn't pleasant. So he inserts the speculum and then he inserts the rod. Now at this point I feel, it's very uncomfortable. No pain at this point, but just extremely uncomfortable that, my muscles start to tense up a little bit and contract. And, I can feel him like fiddling around and whatnot. And he says, oh, I can't find your cervix. So I'm like, what you mean? Homie, it's right there. Okay, like who got it then? If you can't find it, who's supposed to find it? It was just really, crazy. So anyway, I think he took like I don't remember what else he had to use. He inserted it again. So it turns out that my cervix had tilted a little bit to the left, and that's why he couldn't really find it. So, and this happens actually. This is something that is... okay, no, I don't want to say quite common. I just need to look it up and really see how common it is, but it's something that does happen. So, so he finally finds the cervix and he inserts the rod into the cervix, into the womb, and he pushes the dye in. At this point, pain that I felt was extremely excruciating. I screamed out loud. I couldn't even believe it. I remember one of the guys, I remember one of the doctors even saying to me, oh, I'm so sorry. He even kept saying sorry, trying to comfort me because it was just so painful. I just couldn't believe how much pain I was in, and I learned later really that it was because I had a fibroid. I had actually like 2 maybe fibroids sitting right there at the, just right inside my uterus cavity, just there. So that's what caused the excruciating pain. So I sit there, and it doesn't last very long. This procedure usually lasts about, maybe 10-15 minutes or so, depending on how complex, I guess, it would be, because that's how long mine lasted. After that, I bled quite a bit, really, and again, perhaps, maybe because of the fibroid, or just, it's not unusual though. It's something that does happen. You could bleed while, going through all of that. So he was done. He asked me to get dressed. And just another piece of advice also, I would advise people that are going through this to carry a sanitary towel just for afterwards. Again, just in case you bleed and you need it. I wouldn't advise carrying a tampon. I would say maybe a pad, just also because I'm just thinking that, a tampon would be uncomfortable to insert. So I would just advise a pad just to, help you through afterwards. So I get dressed, the results get sent to my doctor, whom we actually couldn't see right there and then. So we made an appointment on the Monday because that was a Friday. So later on, I learned from my husband that he was this close to coming into the lab because he wasn't allowed inside there with me. He was like, I was just ready to come in there and just, see what was happening because of the scream. I was like, oh my gosh. It was a lot. So, so we went back on the Monday, and my doctor looked at the results. He said, okay, cool. And then we set the appointment for the myomectomy, which was on a Tuesday on the 5th of May. So that is my short journey and experience with HSG. I hope that, this will be sort of strength for anybody. And I'd just like to mention that, people's journeys are different. Not everybody's experience is the same. So this is me giving you an account of what happened to me. Shouldn't be a deterrent for you. It's not meant to prevent you or to make you feel a certain way about going through with certain procedures. I know, and I've spoken with people who've had pleasant procedures like HSG. I know somebody who said it wasn't even painful, it was just slightly uncomfortable, but there was no pain, and they didn't even need to take a day off work. They didn't even need a pad. She was perfectly fine. So this is just really to just give you strength and to just prepare you all around for whatever it is that could happen. So thank you so much for sticking with me, and I hope that, we can continue. If you have any questions, if you have any sort of comments, please put them in the comment section below, and I will try and get to them. And if you want me to make a video on it, and I will. So thank you so much. I will see you soon.